days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, you give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.
So for a man that took 4 deferments, I believe, with bone spurs, refused to serve this country when he could have, even in a because a person of a certain wealth, they're not going to be sent to the front lines like my uncles. Right. My uncle sent to the front lines during Vietnam and maybe Korea, because that's, I don't know how old he is. He's that old, right? So as a person that served this country, how does it feel to have a commander in chief who refused to serve this country?
I find it disgusting, and I think we need to check on that bone spurs thing. He probably just had gas or something. I don't believe anything Trump says, but I find it disgusting. It's like he considers himself the authority on a ton of things that he has not experienced, and just the fact that they weren't able to confirm that he called those folks losers. It's like, this is just the epitome of white privilege, that he's even able, that he was president and that he's able to run, and it is a shame.
But it speaks to the lying nature of this nation, right? So the people that support him, they say it's because of his policies, his immigration, it's whatever, but it's really racism. And it's really whiteness, right? Yep. It's not because he's not a patriot. They call themselves patriots. They wrap themselves in a flag. They call themselves Christians. They have a Bible. This man holds it upside down and only knows about 2 Corinthians, nothing more. Never lived the Bible. Doesn't know Jesus personally, not his Lord and Savior. Period. Right? But they are praying over him. You got Paula White and them laying hands and praying for this man, Jimmy Swaggart or whoever what's the Jimmy what the hell, the Billy Graham's son, and all of the people out there laying hands because Kenneth Copeland, shout out, bleh. What? None of it makes sense, but we hear, and then we got black people today at his rally. I saw a couple of black people, like legitimate black people, not the people that they paid with the Blacks for Trumps from 2020 with the T-shirts, but like legitimate black people. And then he went to a barbershop with black people. Black people, what is happening? Black people, and I'm talking to the men. 866-801-8255. Before I get too far ahead of myself, there was a debate last night. Have to say that, breaking news. There was a debate. Well, we got a lot of breaking news. Supreme Court is letting you know slavery's on the table. They're letting you know everything's on the table. Y'all messing around right now, playing in our faces, talking about I ain't voting. Did you watch, Roderick, the debate last night?
Yeah, I watched some of it off and on. I watched like the first 30 minutes, and then it slowly sank in. There was not fact checking. Because I was like, why is this bothering me more? I've watched Trump debates and they're all terrible, but I've never felt one that was this bad. And I was like, what is happening? Am I tripping? And of course, Biden's fastball was not fastballing. So you had that as well. And so you had it was like getting slapped twice. It's like Trump opened his mouth, he gets slapped. Biden opened his mouth, he had a slow start. Now I did start watching some WNBA in between. I watched the Storm beat up on the Fever. Okay. And then between commercials, I would turn it back to be like, what they doing now? And Biden was better by the end, but I mean, I feel like people kind of did what I did, tuned in, and then a lot of people just never turned it back on. I just happened to keep turning it back. But yeah, I watched it and it was harrowing.
The first question off rip was about the abortion, about Roe v. Wade being overturned. And that was when I knew, when he talked about babies being killed after they're born and nobody said anything. And I'm looking at my studio audience. I'm looking around. I was like, oh, so Dana Bash, y'all not going to challenge that? Like out his mouth, like where the babies being killed after they're born. That's murder. That's definitely what do you call it? Infanticide or something. I know there's
it's
a word
literal
for it.
murder. You can't kill a living baby that has been born. And he said it with such lying confidence of oh my God, and they do it all the time in many states. I'm like, and they cut back to the person. They just like, all right, next question for you, Biden. President Biden. I was like, what happened?
Okay, so let's just play. And I apologize because I tend to not play a whole lot. of stuff from Trump just because why? There's no veracity in it. But play this because this is when I checked out.
The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
So I was like, I'm waiting for Jake Tapper. Sir, after the baby, governor, when did this happen?
To the side.
Put the baby to the side and then determine.
Like a basketball?
And then to compound it, the way they had it broke up, it's like you basically get 2 uninterrupted minutes to talk. Mm-hmm. And so he has 2 minutes of lies. Like it's not, like almost none of it is true. They cut to Biden, and then Biden's like, everything he just said was a lie. He can't go through each individual lie for 2 minutes. He never even get to his points. But I'm like, what do moderators moderate then if they don't come back and say like, well, President, you got to show your work on where the live babies getting killed. What state was that? What case?
Right. Well, he said Virginia, and I looked it up. My dumb ass. I was like, oh, I knew it wasn't true, but I had to. This is how lying people. If you got a liar in your life, and if you are a liar, call us because there's a masterful nature. 866-801-8255 about like my dad was one of these masterful liars, but I always knew because he would be too bombastic with it. And then I'd be like, oh, you're lying. So I'm kind of like real good at spotting lies because I was raised with somebody that would lie for no reason, just for no reason, cheated Monopoly, all of the stuff. So I'm like on edge with this. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know that's a lie. But then he doubled down on it. He said it twice, because you got to repeat the lie. You got to repeat the lie. You got to repeat the lie 3 times. You got to say something 3 times like Candyman in order for it to get into people's psyche. And this is where we are right now. So I was like, at that point, when it went back to the moderators, I said, oh, I was optimistic because they're going to cut off the mics. They got a minute. When Jake Tapper said, it's your minute, you do what you want with it. I said, wait, what? What you do it? You say whatever you want? No, you answer my damn question. That's what it's like. No, well, you don't have to answer my question. You say whatever you want. I say, oh, y'all on some BS. I don't know what deal was cut. CNN, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. And let me just say this out loud because I'm very proud about this. We have more listeners on Urban View than CNN has viewers anywhere. We just got some numbers in. I was like, I knew it. I couldn't prove it. Now I can. But I was sitting there like, that's why y'all suck. No one can trust you. No one can trust you. You are sitting up there. First, you put down a bash. Neither one of y'all are journalists. So, Jake Tapper's not that bad. I was like, stop playing in our faces because you like how he looks and sometimes he's stern. That's theater. That's acting. That's journalism is the breaking down, dissemination of information, being able to challenge people, stop them, ask questions. Hold up. Let me get clarity. Can you repeat that? No, that's wrong. Matter of fact, you shouldn't have needed a fact checker. Them motherfuckers should have had. I know Clay Kane could have done this in his sleep. Larry could have done like this. This is embarrassing. Yes. All right, I'm sorry. It's personal at some point.
They were asking questions like how TMZ be asking questions when they see someone at the airport. Like, how they just be like, LeBron, you gonna let your son play on the team? Like, that's how they was asking questions. And then just whatever answer they got, it was like they just wanted content because they're not really engaging with the answer. There's no follow-up really. There's no, hey, you didn't answer that. You need to go back and answer that. No fact checking. It's just, well, what you gonna say? Best man hit me first. So it was just bad TV for me, and so I couldn't stomach it because I really think this is a serious election, and that was below the standards of what we should have in America when we have 2 people that can be president. We need better than that from our journalists in quotes.
Well, I think Trump's strategy worked, which was to plant the seed. Like you said, Karen, with the lies, and once he says it, then his base is going to believe it and they're going to run with it. So his strategy worked, which was plant the seed. And even Joe saying, well, that's a lie. That's not true. That's malarkey. They don't care because he said it and he has said it convincingly. And they have shown that they don't care about lies. They don't care.
Hey, Rita, you were in the military. Do you resonate with that truth that Trump is like, the military mostly supports me? anyway. Like they, because I have friends in the military who have told me that, after serving, Black people that have been like, yo, it's not a 50-50 situation in the military. It definitely feels more pro-conservative. And this is going back many administrations, not just Trump.
Well, toward the end of my service, I realized, because you don't really think about political affiliation, because first of all, I was in the band, so we didn't really get super political. It wasn't like we were going to war. You know what I mean? So those hard discussions.
Wait. So the military band? Yeah. But you had to go through basic training.
Yeah. Oh, we got a rock band, second line, symphonic band, jazz band. Oh, it's lit.
What?
Yeah.
When I woke up, I listened to Urban View Mornings, which was amazing, by the way. Dr. Greg Carr Lamont King, who will be here later. And we're actually going to have the attorney that was on the show, because while today, the Supreme Court has told you some things. As I mentioned, slavery, there's nothing that's off the table. Insurrections, whatever. They are signaling in our faces. Y'all can play around if you want to. And everybody that won't vote for Joe Biden because of Gaza, you won't vote for him because of Gaza. Here's what Trump said about what's going on in Israel and Palestine. If he's president, play it, Smiz.
As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one. And you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
Finish the job. What does that mean? Well, we know that Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, says finish the job, meaning clear it all out. It's great beachfront property. Those people all should be gone. So you thought Joe was genocide, Joe? You ain't even, we won't even know about it, because won't nobody be able to protest. Let me just say that too. There will be no protests in the street under Trump. So all of the protests we saw on the campuses and all that will be shut down. The National Guard will be rolled in, okay? It will be shut down. The news won't be reporting what's actually happening. At least we're getting some insight. Rashida Tlaib, she's probably going to end up not even being in Congress. I'm going to say less about that. But this is wild, because now people are going to be on a list, right? Yeah, it's like McCarthy again.
I remember one of the first times I came on here, we talked about, the Joe Biden and stuff, and I was like, the problem with the don't vote for Joe, or, if Trump takes over, it'll be okay, because just you can't name one issue that you say you care about where Trump is better than Biden. And even if you think Biden is lacking, it's still going to end up being better, even if you just a single issue voter, because this one dude is just the worst. It's unfortunate that we don't have better options and all that stuff. I'd love to hear, I told y'all before, I voted for Warren in the primary when it was 2020. My parents looked at me and said, Joe Biden finna win. So I mean, it's cool. That's cute, but just make sure you hear for the general, and they were right. I thought they were wrong. They were absolutely right. But it matters to me that we have these two choices, and one is, to me, a lot worse. And I just think we gotta lock in for mitigating the harm of the American imperialistic construct that we are living under. We cannot just be like, I didn't participate, I'm not complicit. Then you let the car run over the people. You gotta do something to try to help save as many people as you can. And right now, that choice looks like Joe Biden to me.
Let's go to the phones. 866-801-TALK. There's also talk about replacing Joe Biden. There's talk about replacing Joe Biden, not with Kamala Harris. There's talk about that. And I also think, as I say that out of my mouth, there's quite a few Black folk that would agree with not having Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket. Y'all, this has always been, president is always a committee. It's Blinken, it's your cabinet. It's never that man is the figurehead, that is the person that's going out. Now, our representation right now is old as F. But guess what? Somebody said, just because you think Alfred is too old to take care of the Batcave, actually Jimmy Kimmel said this, just because you think Alfred is too old to take care of the Batcave, you don't replace him with the Joker.
Right.
I mean, come on. Yes. As a matter of fact, I have a bunch of clips. Smiz, you're right. The Jennifer Welsh, who's been on the show, I love her podcast. She's got a podcast with another woman. They are hilarious. This is what she said.
Here's what needs to be pointed out coming to this election in November. A lot of people that are maybe mid to low information voters that are rather apolitical are beating this drum. Biden's old. Biden's old. Well, Trump's old too. They're both old. We have two old candidates, and you need to face the facts. You're not only voting for the candidate, you're voting for an administration. And Trump is a Trojan horse for these radical religious nuts. They want to strip decades of progress that women have made. In this election, for those of you that have a problem with Biden's age, you're voting for an administration. The Biden administration are competent, progressive people that support equality among genders, sexualities, skin colors. The Trump sycophants of this convicted felon, they do not. They support Christian white nationalism, full stop.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. I appreciate her. Let's take one or two calls. We're going to go to a break. Lee in Atlanta wants to talk about the debate last night. Hi, Lee. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. Rita, Brent, and Roderick Morrow are here.
Rita, Brent, Roderick Morrow, and the queen of all-time radio, Karen Hunter. I love you guys.
I received that.
We in danger, girl. So let me tell you, I think the media was hands off. So they went back to an old style of moderating, right? So when you go back to when Kennedy, I think, and Nixon was debating, they had no checks and balances. They just let them go, right? So I'm thinking the reason why they did that this time, because it's an indication that they are afraid. I'm not letting them off the hook. I know they did it in the last debate. I knew that. They were doing the checks and balances. But this time, I think the complaint was that they were over-moderating. They were in the way and da-da-da-da. Now, had they done it, yes, Biden would have looked like the liar that he was. But I think that they're indicating the climate, the temperature in the room. And, of course, you know, we know this it's a serious time, and it's a very dangerous time. And the other thing is Obama had a bad night, and it turned out pretty good for him. I don't know if that was because he was a Mormon. I don't know if that had anything, but he did have a bad night.
Yeah, no, I don't know that debates win elections. I know that Nixon debate helped Kennedy because Nixon looked so raggedy and sweaty and disgusting next to the dapper Kennedy. That helped him tremendously. This, I thought, when I said, oh no, I tweeted, oh no, all caps, exclamation point. That's when I turned off the TV. When Joe Biden got stuck, he had a Mitch McConnell moment. But I've had those moments on the radio where you got a train of thought, but you're also thinking about the 11, to your point, Rod, lies that were just told, which one in real time. Cause I'm like, it's a live radio show. You know, you're thinking, I got a minute. This motherfucker just said 15 lies. Which one do I tackle? I know what I want to say, but this can't go on. And then you start a sentence and you get stuck. I have been there at least once a day. Once a day, I'm in the middle. My train of thought gets broken. Smiz is talking in my ear like he just did. I forgot where I was going. And instead of getting stuck, I go to break because I can go to break, right? Any point in time I can read a commercial. He's sitting there and then he got stuck on it. And I was like, oh, damn. Came in, needed a lozenge. Whoever is running this campaign, I need you to come here. I got to talk to you. I need to talk to you off mic. Talk to you off mic because you are failing miserably, this man. And he deserves better. Y'all had his ass out there on campaign, knowing he had to have a debate. Have him take a nap. Shoot him up with the Adderall, whatever you have for the State of the Union. You got the Botox was good. It was a little too much. And make sure that his throat is moistened. Get that honey down there. Get whatever Patti LaBelle is using. She 82. She out there singing. Give him the Patti LaBelle, Mariah Carey lotion spray, some water, and put him to sleep. Even if you got to propofol him until it's time for the damn debate. When you awaken from a propofol sleep, you feel very refreshed. I'm saying whoever was managing the president of the United States, you suck. Because you had that man out there looking real feeble. And I'm going to tell you today, different story. So what happened? So clearly, if he gets enough sleep, come on. This is basic. This is basic. So,
is it because it was so late? Like it's past his bedtime? Like why was it so different last night?
Oh my God. Okay. So this was a tale of 2 days, just 8 hours later. This is Joe Biden in North Carolina, Raleigh, at a rally in Raleigh.
Let me close with this. I know I'm not a young man. state the obvious. Well, I know. I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. But I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
That's better.
I said, Smith, when I saw that today, I was like, when was this? He was like, today. I said, what? Wait, what the hell? So clearly, this might not be a bad thing, this debate that happened, because Trump also looked like a damn bully.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, right at you. You give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.